Bienvenidos and welcome to another episode of Spain on a Fork. So once again, it is a cold and chilly January day, and as you know during these times, there's nothing better than a dish that warms your soul. Anyways, today that's exactly what we're doing. We're making a classic Spanish white bean stew. This is a recipe that hails from the beautiful region of Andalusia, where it's known as Alubias, Blancas, and Ajo Colorado. And let me tell you, this dish has layer upon layer of so many great flavors. It's made with the most basic ingredients, and the best part, it's all done in about 40 minutes using just one pot. Folks, serve this dish next to a crunchy baguette, and of course a bottle of Spanish red wine. More specifically from the region of Valdepeñas, you have yourself a heartwarming, delicious meal. Alright, let's just jump right into this. I'm going to heat a stock pot with a medium heat, and add in a quarter cup of extra virgin olive oil, which is 60 milliliters. Make sure you use the good stuff here, as this is the foundation of the dish and what truly makes the difference. Link where you get the Spanish one I'm using in the description box below. While the oil is heating, I'm going to cut 2 slices from a baguette, each one being 1 inch thick, which is about 2.5 centimeters. We'll also cut 1 medium-sized tomato in half, and remove the skins from 6 cloves of garlic. Then we'll add the ingredients into the stock pot, and you want to make sure that the tomatoes are cut side down. And we're going to saute the ingredients for about 4 minutes or until they're lightly golden fried. In the meantime, I'm going to roughly chop 1 medium-sized onion and cut 1 green bell pepper into small bite-sized pieces. And like I've told you in the past, if you prefer, you can chop the ingredients before heating the pan. After sauteing the ingredients in the stock pot for about 4 minutes and they're lightly golden fried, we'll remove them from the pan and set them aside. Now, using the same pan with the same heat, we'll add in the chopped onion and the chopped green bell pepper. And we'll mix the ingredients around. That way they're all coated in the olive oil. And since we cut the veggies into larger pieces, you don't have to mix this around continuously, but do get under every minute or so, that way everything evenly sautés. While the veggies are cooking, let's get our final ingredients ready. I'm going to cut 2 medium-sized potatoes that have already been peeled, washed, and patted dry, each into small bite-sized pieces that are 1/2 inch thick, which is about 1¼ centimeters. Important to use potatoes here that are a bit more waxy and starchy, as they hold their shape better in stews. I'm using Yukon Golds, but you can also use new potatoes, Golden Delight, or even red potatoes. And we'll also drain 1 jar of cooked white beans into a colander, which is the same thing as the canned ones, and rinse the beans under some water. The size of the jar that I'm using is 25 ounces, which is 700 grams. And I tell you, for this recipe, I'm using typical Spanish white beans, but you can use whatever white beans you like. Alright, let's move back to the stock pot. After sauteing the vegetables for about 4 to 5 minutes and they're lightly sauteed, I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon of white wine vinegar, which is 15 milliliters. You can also use rice wine vinegar here, or even apple cider vinegar. We'll also add in 1/2 teaspoon of sweet smoked Spanish paprika, which is a little over 1 gram, and 1/2 teaspoon of ground cumin, which is 1.5 grams. And we'll give it a quick mix. Now I tell you, by adding the vinegar and the spices right now and lightly sauteing them, is going to make them nice and fragrant, which at the end gives this dish a beautiful lift of flavors. Then we'll add in the chopped potatoes and season everything with sea salt and freshly cracked black pepper. And we'll give it a mix until it's well mixed together. Then we'll add in the rinsed white beans and 3 cups of vegetable broth, which is 720 milliliters. You can also use chicken broth here, or even water if you like. Just make sure to season accordingly if you're using water. And we'll turn it up to a high heat and give it a gentle mix. While the broth is heating, let's move back to the slices of baguette, tomato, and garlic that we lightly fried. I'm going to transfer the ingredients into a tall plastic cylinder. And using a hand blender, we'll blend it all together until we end up with a puree. You can also use a food processor here, stand-up blender, or even a NutriBullet. Once the broth comes to a boil in the stock pot, we'll add in the puree and we'll give it one final mix. And then we'll place the lid on the stock pot and lower the fire to a low heat. And we're going to simmer this for about 20 minutes until the potatoes are just cooked through. After about 20 minutes and the potatoes are just cooked, this is ready to go. You can always pierce them with a toothpick just to ensure that they're done. If you see that yours need more time, you simmer this for a bit longer. At this point, I'm removing the stock pot from the heat and transfer some of the stew into a shallow bowl. And check it out, folks. Our classic Spanish white bean stew is done. Easy to make, beautiful presentation, and all done in a little over 40 minutes using just one pot. Let's give this a try and see how it turned out. Once again, folks, alubias blancas en ajo colorado, a beautiful recipe from the region of Andalucía. Moment of truth. I'm so cold right now. And this right here is truly hitting the spot. This right here is so good. Most importantly, with that first bite and that second bite, it instantly warms your soul and fills you with so much goodness. Easy to make, the most basic ingredients, so many great flavors. Give it a try at home. Once again, next to a crunchy baguette and a bottle of Spanish wine from the beautiful region of Valdepeñas, you have yourself a heartwarming and delicious meal. Really quick before I go, a shout out to a couple of my patrons, Ronald Kemp, Stephen Riggs, and John Kachanowski. You guys, thank you so much for being patrons of Spain on a Fork. You know how much I appreciate you. Enjoyed today's video, hit that like button, leave me a comment below, and if you're not subscribed, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and click on the bell icon. That way you can get notified every time I release new content and to become a part of the Spain on a Fork family. Till the next time, hasta luego.